and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 367 for the week of August 28th, 2018. My name is Ryan Higgins, and who's here with me at this gigantic table full of podcast guests?
Brock Sager.
Insert cricket chirping sound here. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
You're right.
Boy.
Ryan, you look disappointed, Ryan.
No, it's fine. Dude, Toby was here, but he's recovering after
busy.
a very long weekend.
Busy in a long weekend.
Yeah, doing stuff. So it's just me and Brock today. Everyone else is gone, which is fine. Hello, Brock.
Hi,
How
Ryan.
are you?
It's been a while.
Just like old times.
I know. It's throwback.
Just like old times. For those that don't know, that may be more recent listen to the podcast, for the first 60 episodes, It was mostly just me and you.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
We did Toby and Charlie and Bryce and the other guys did roll in here after a while, but all those early episodes, which you can find at youtube.com/comicsconspiracy. Comics Conspiracy? Yeah, sounds right.
Did you make it Comic Conspiracy or Comics Conspiracy?
I think it's Comics Conspiracy. Yeah.
So you did the store's name?
Yeah, because it could be everything.
It's
not just the podcast. It's it's everything that's for the store. So we're if you're expecting a 2.5 hour long episode this week, it's probably not going to happen. But hey,
you can listen to it twice.
Stranger things happen. We'll get some of these news bits. We'll read some questions, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. Of course, then I could just open up Microsoft Edge for some reason. I don't know what
Why are you opening up Edge? Nobody uses that.
Edge is okay. I like Edge.
Do you use it?
When I can't use Chrome for some reason, I use Edge.
Then you use Firefox.
Nah, I don't like Firefox anymore. I used to love Firefox. We're going to talk about some random news crap. Let's get to this. Conan the Barbarian. You know Conan? It's a cool character.
Which one? The brunette one? The classic? or the Arnold Schwarzenegger Sandy Blonde?
No, just a comic book character.
Okay.
One of many licenses leaving Dark Horse. Mm-hmm. Conan, Buffy's leaving.
They're losing Serenity.
Yep, and that's going over, I think, Boom or something like that.
Yeah.
So Conan is one we knew was leaving as well, going back to Marvel, which is weird. I don't know why Marvel has it, but whatever. Disney wanted...
I mean, it's just like Star Wars.
Yeah, but Disney owns Star Wars. They don't own Conan, so I have no idea why the license would go back to Marvel. It's very, very strange.
Who owns Conan?
I would assume just the Robert E. Howard's estate. I don't think it... I assume it's not... it's definitely not owned by Disney. I have no idea who owns Conan. Again, I think it's just the Howard estate. Okay. So it's coming back to Marvel, and we now have a creative team set up. Not surprising in the least bit, but Jason Aaron is going to be writing.
Yes, he was apparently very happy about it on Twitter.
Yeah, he's a big Conan fan. So Jason Aaron with Mahmoud Assar doing the art, and obviously, I'm sure these teams will switch out as time goes on, but at least to do the current arc. So Jason Aaron's a big Conan fan. Very excited for that. Hopefully that works out well. I followed the first couple years of the Dark Horse Conan when Kurt Busiek was writing. It was pretty good, but I'm not a Conan guy, so
does that mean Red Sonja's gonna come over?
I don't know. Red Sonja has been with Dynamite for a number of years. Yeah. I think Red Sonja... I mean, it's not the same license, right? It's not... They're two separate things.
Yeah, because didn't she first appear in the Marvel comics?
Right, but she is, I assume, owned by the Robert E. Howard estate now. That's a good question. I actually don't know, but I assume so because it's not a Marvel, even though she first appeared in the Marvel comics. But yeah, she's over at Dynamite, so they could get it back. I have no clue. I don't, to the best of my knowledge, it's not part of the deal, but who knows? Conan. That's Jason Aaron seems to be their go-to guy, and he's obviously been off the Star Wars books now. So
I think he's a good fit, not just because he likes Conan, but because I think his writing style would really kind of bring a new, fresh edge to Conan.
Oh, he's definitely the right writer for that book. Yeah,
with a lot of his past, with a lot of other books that he's done, like Scalped and oh God, Southern Bastards, and then there was that other one that I can't remember the name of, like Men of something.
Well, even the
Men of Wrath. That's it.
Yeah, even the Avengers book going on right now sort of has they have all the flashbacks to the what it's like the 1 million BC Avengers, and so he definitely is a fan of fantasy and those characters.
Yeah.
Sad news. As the years tick on, we are losing more and more of the Golden Age and Silver Age creators. The most recent person to pass away was Russ Heath. He was an artist who did a lot of work for Marvel when they were still Timely Comics, like Two Gun Kid and the Western books.
Yeah.
He also was the co-creator of the Haunted Tank at DC.
Oh wow!
And he was the artist on the original run of The Losers that ran in one of their anthologies. So he did mostly like the war comics and Western comics. He is one of the artists that was majorly ripped off by Rory Lichtenstein. So a number of his paintings were based on Russ Heath, were just rip-offs of Russ Heath's art he did, which is always very unfortunate. And, this I actually didn't know. I saw a lot of people were posting about this. If you go back and you see a lot of old comics, especially, I don't know what year this is. I mean, this must be 60s. There is a advertisement that ran on the back of lots of comics for toy soldiers called 132 Roman soldiers, right? I mean, if you see old comics, you'll see this ad all the time. He did the art for this ad, which I had no idea. So you kind of always wonder who does the art for some of these advertisements in the old comics. And yeah, that was him. So that's really funny. I had no idea. Really depressing. When more of these creators pass away, especially.
What did he pass of?
It doesn't say. It says after battling cancer. So 91 though. That's it's not bad. And Haunted Tank. God, I love Haunted Tank. What a weird ass character that is. It's a guy that drives around in a Haunted Tank.
Yeah,
so good.
Teams up with Unknown Soldier.
Yeah, man. So obviously sad, but just go to books. I'm sure DC and Marvel will remember him. I know they've had the
Steve Ditko,
the Ditko memorial thing. The big DC had a nice 2-page spread. The beginning of what was FF #1, right? Had a big piece, like multiple pages on Ditko. So wait, no, was it FF1?
No, I don't think so.
What? Yeah, go check FF1. One of the books had like a 3 or 4 page. I think it's FF1. Had like a 3 or 4 page like intro before the story about Ditko. I'm almost positive it's FF.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, always sad when we lose older creators, but that's, unfortunately, that's life.
Yep.
Couple new titles coming from, a number of new titles coming from Marvel, and I'm sure this is going to lead right into a new ongoing series very shortly. Over the course of a day, Marvel sent out like 5 different press releases, or I guess 4 press releases, because it's the Defenders. They showed art for Hulk, Silver Surfer, and Namor, and Doctor Strange. I mean, I love Defenders, but it's 4 one-shots. Again, I assume leading into it is 5 because the 5th one is the Defenders. But I'm assuming they're going to lead into an ongoing Defenders series. So there's
they're trying to Justice League of America rebirth it.
Remember
Justice League of America had
had all the one shots, and sure, and I mean, which is fine. Immortal Hulk is the first one by Al Ewing and Simone DeMeo. Namor by Chip Zdarsky and Carlos Mengo. Doctor Strange by Jerry Dugan and Greg Smallwood. That's good. That's a good team. Silver Surfer by Jason Latour. He's writing and drawing it. And the Defenders Best Defense, which is the one shot, is Immortal Hulk. Creative team Al Ewing and artist Joe Bennett. So if you're a Defenders fan, you got some new stuff coming up. It's weird because they had the Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones. Those, I don't think, did we talk about this on here? We might have. The new comics for Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, and it was Daughters of the Dragon is the 4th one. They're digital first and graphic novel released. There's no single issues. So they ended Iron Fist at 80, starting a new miniseries, but it's digital only. The new Jessica Jones series, the way they're releasing it is digitally they're going to come out as, or at least Jessica Jones is, 3 40-page issues.
At one time?
No, over the course of 3 months or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then the graphic novel comes out. So 3 issues, 3 40-page issues would be 6 issues.
Yeah.
Then the trade will come out in a collected physical form. I assume Luke Cage and Iron Fist is following the same pattern. I don't actually know, but it would make sense. But these are being positioned as ongoing digital series, so they're going to do 6, then the trade, and then or 3. I mean, and then the trade of those 6, and then another 3 at some point after. They're going to be 6 months between issues because it's 6 issues worth of content released over 3 issues. So that's weird because I know like Injustice, a number of these digital books come out weekly with a short page count, and then they're collected into a single issue.
Yeah, so like like Teen Titans Go is a digital first.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Short stories?
Yeah. So normally that's like 2 stories in each one. So each physical issue that comes out is 2 chapters. Yeah, they call them the chapters or whatever in digital form.
Yeah.
Injustice follows kind of the same line.
Yeah.
I know that for like Bombshells, it was 3 issues or 3 digital chapters made up 1 issue.
Right.
So like
it's multiple.
Bombshells was like 30 some odd issues total when it finished running, but the actual count was more
like
towards
30 or 18 or something like that.
No, it was more like the digital chapters is more like 90.
Oh, the digital stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's interesting that they're just jumping to the graphic novel. I mean, I don't really know how well sales are going to do digitally on those.
Yeah, I have to assume they'll do, okay, right? Digital is, again, some issues kind of buck the trend, but digital is roughly 10% of physical.
Yeah.
If Jessica Jones is selling, 20,000 in the direct market, 18,000 in the direct market.
Yeah, you might get 2,000.
18, maybe. Yeah.
2,000 people buying it, but you don't have to front up the cost for printing the thing.
Well, we sell, it would be less without Bendis on the title, but we sell, 18 or 20 copies of Jessica Jones, probably, I mean, that's way more than the national average. But I sell 2 or 3 of the trades, maybe, the more recent collections a little bit more, but I mean, unless people order this book directly, which we did reach out through Comic Hub to customers who got the previous run and said, hey, this is how it's coming out physically, is collected. I think I got like 3 replies. So I'll get 1 shelf copy of the trade. Yeah. So my numbers on Jessica Jones go from 20 to 4, right? So
and 20 is, you're selling it $3.99 a pop. Yeah. Right? So, you're, was it $4? So it's $80.
I mean,
you're selling 4 trades, but it's probably about the same because they're going to probably charge $19.99 for that trade.
Yeah, it's an interesting attempt. I just don't know. I don't know that this is going to work for them in the long run. I mean, I love original graphic novel content, but keep it in addition to your traditional stuff, not. For Marvel and DC, that is not replacing it. Yeah. There's no reason you would,
It's like, why wouldn't you just release the 3 issues release the 3 issues physically and then just release the trade? Like, just do it like that.
Again, I don't see why they don't just put
or release chapter 1, chapter 2, then a physical issue, chapter 3 and 4, and then it's 3 actual issues, and then. They're oversized, so you can charge a little bit more.
Well, and again, to the best of my knowledge, these aren't like some weird standalone out of continuity stuff. These are
pretty much continuing from where Bendis left off.
Yeah, I mean, the one of the pages is in his last issue. It's the one where she's dressed up and tied up, but she's dressed up like Captain Marvel.
Spoiler. I haven't.
Wow. So, it's bizarre to me that this is the method they're doing with these books. Which again, I don't see why you can't have physical copies come out in between, and even if it's 3 issues digitally, 1, 2, 3 in 3 months, the 6 issues are put out over a 6-month time period, and then the trade comes out the same day as issue number 6. That's fine if you want to market to the digital crowd the trade. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But
I think Marvel and DC.
How did we even get into this? We're talking about that Defenders book. Oh, the Defenders. That's
how you got to it, because you were talking about Defenders, and then you were talking about their other announcement, which was this Digital stuff.
So they announced it a while ago, right? But I don't know that we ever really talked about it. But it's interesting to me that the ones they're testing this with, this is where I was going with this original conversation. They're testing it with the Defenders TV characters and the characters that were in the more recent Defenders series by Bendis, while a more traditional Defender series seems to be coming back. So maybe that's the idea, that they're like, we don't want two lines of Defenders titles at the same point, so we'll do Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage and Daughters of the Dragon digitally, and we'll do Hulk, Doctor Strange, Namor, and
well, I always kind of felt like they kind of
Surfer.
They kind of shot themselves in the foot with making the Defenders the Netflix stuff. Like, they could have just gone with the Heroes for Hire angle on those.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the Defenders, so it was kind of a weird choice. But again,
so now
whatever.
It's like, well, we're going to bring back the Defenders, but if you like the Defenders Netflix stuff, then this isn't the Defenders for you.
Well, they also are not doing another season of the Defenders, so I think that may have been one and done, and that Defenders name may now be back up for grabs. Obviously, they're not doing that in the comics, right? They're going to go back to the classic Defenders. So, the attempt to, the shows are fine, but bringing them together as the Defenders just did not click. They've already announced they're not going to do another season of the Defenders. They're just going to keep doing these shows, right? The separate shows, which is, again, probably for the best because it didn't really work. So, yeah, I don't know. But hey, I like the OG Defenders and I like the new Defenders too. But yeah, I think that whole digital release is very strange.
I mean, if I can understand that they're trying to test out a different style. I mean, because that's not how most people do it, or most of the big industry things do it. They do, like we talked about, like I said earlier, like 2 chapters make 1 issue, or 3 chapters make 1 issue. They have the physical issue, and then they, the funny thing is they release the trade normally digitally and physically at the same time.
Yeah.
So you kind of have this, you have a digital market, you have a physical market, and then you have the option for both.
Well, they've done a handful. Marvel's done a handful of other much lower. That's what I'm looking for. Just kind of low hype digital exclusive series. They did a Black Panther one, a Cap one, a Spider-Man one, an Avengers. An Avengers one. Sorry, not Captain America. An Avengers one. And again, if these were miniseries, we'd sell 5 or 8 copies, right? Yeah. They wouldn't be huge, but I'd sell a handful of them. You should put that across 4 issues or whatever they were. Okay. Well, they put them out in trade only, so I order 1. And I didn't actually... I think I sold 1 of the Black Panther. I didn't sell the Avengers one that came out at all. So, I won't order any more of these. Yeah. They're that's the audience for these books. Again, Marvel's going to see what they see. Maybe they see... huge sales on Amazon and huge sales through the book market. I don't believe it. Well,
I think the problem lies in what's the sell through, because we talk about this when we talk about the sales charts. Is what Diamond sells is what they sell to comic book stores, right? But we don't know what that sell through for.
Right. I'm assuming it's microscopic.
Right.
Yeah. So even when we look at BookScan, right, which represents 60 to 70% somewhere in that range of book and book dealer sales, right? So they have numbers going down to single copies sold across all stores. It's not like comic stores that are 3,000 independent point of sale systems. Yeah. A lot of these stores do go through BookScan, and I looked up Miss Marvel, which we hear does well in bookstore, and all 7 of the volumes, I think were out, 6 or 7 that were out at the time, were on the top 750 BookScan, which is what Brian Hibbs posted on Comic Resource. It's on The Beat now. On The Beat. So he gets access to the top 750, which covers most stuff that's selling very well, right? Yeah. And those are all on there, right? But then you hear Squirrel Girl sells really well in that market. Well, there was only 1 volume of Squirrel Girl on there, on the top 750, so I have to go... I believe I'll have to go back and double check, but I remember looking up Squirrel Girl, and I think volume 1 was the only one that was there, and it wasn't even that high. So, I can't imagine these are doing very well in a book market. Again, they're probably just testing this stuff, but it doesn't. I I could have told them right away, this isn't how it works. You know, you'll sell more if you do the single issues than the collected edition and digital at the same time. To me, doing digital only with no physical, even something like Injustice, I sell 3 copies of Injustice, and that's not great, but that's 3 more than I sell of these other ones that have no physical copy, right? And you apply that across stores, it's 10,000.
Like 5 copies of Teen Titans Go.
8 or 10,000 copies, 8 or 10,000 sales is nothing to sneeze at for a lot of stuff, assuming it's not like, doesn't have to be some major book.
Is you have to look at, digital first. I mean, it's a smaller segment, but people are probably buying it. I think one of the biggest problems we have...
but I don't think 10,000 people are buying those.
I think this is a thing that I would really like to see is what are the digital sales numbers? Like, what are we seeing? Like, I know Comixology does these are the top 10 books that sold this month or whatever, and they have that little sidebar.
So they update that daily, right?
Yeah, that's updated
You can
daily.
track that. You could track the top sales. Or you may even do like top 100 daily or something like that. You can track those sales. A lot of those digital exclusive things don't. I mean, Injustice seems to always be much higher, but a lot of them aren't.
But the thing is, we don't know how many are being downloaded. Right?
Again,
we don't know those numbers.
Estimates that come from ICV2 and Diamond put it at roughly 10%. That's the overall sale. And you have to also imagine a vast majority of those sales come from their sales, right? So it's probably way less than 10%. It's probably 5% on the new products. It's probably very low. But it's basically free money. So all it costs is Comixology's hosting plus their, the guided view stuff. It's very cheap to make these digital comics if you have the product. So again, I get why they may want to skip physical on some stuff, but I still don't like it. Anyway.
All right, that was way too long on that stupid topic.
That's all right. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, not happening.
Nope.
It's done.
Nope.
It's over. James Gunn not getting hired back, and Disney has dismissed crew members, which have assembled for pre-production to seek other work. It was going to start production later this year, and that is it. The timeline has been pushed out. I think, at least Dave Bautista is not coming back. I would think it's almost impossible.
No, you don't want to piss Dave Bautista off.
Oh, he went on. He's been railing at DC.
You see him?
DC. He's been railing at Disney.
He has no neck.
Yeah,
You don't piss a man off with no neck.
He's been going off on Disney.
Bryce should know this,
now.
but he doesn't know who Greg Capullo is.
So,
Actually, Greg has a nice neck. He's not as big a meathead.
I have to assume Guardians 3 is straight up not going to happen, at least not in anything that we would recognize as Guardians 3.
No.
I assume the cast, the majority, if not all of the cast won't be back. At that point, I don't even think you do it. Disney fucked themselves so bad. At this point, I don't even want to see it. I don't want... blanking on the director's name, the guy that did Thor Ragnarok. A lot of people want him to come in and do it. No, I don't want to see it. And, even if they make it, I don't think it's going to do very well. I think a lot of people will pass on it just because of the whole incident.
I would be
very hard-pressed to go see it.
It'll do well because it's Guardians 3, and Guardians has built up such a following, at least with, people,
say that, but look at Solo, right? I mean, you think these things are just unstoppable,
Solo still made money.
Solo is...
But this is the other thing. Is
Solo... Okay, just because I can... Solo made less than Justice League's international box office. Okay? Solo worldwide made less than Justice League's international box office. That's failure on a level that, that's bad.
But the other thing too is I think that I think the issue with Solo was partly where they placed it in the lineup.
Sure. Because I'm saying is
we had Infinity War, we had Deadpool, Solo,
Star Wars had just happened.
Yeah.
No, but my thing with Solo was the belief was these things are just unstoppable. Mm-hmm. That's not the case.
No, it's right? Because. The thing is I watched Solo. I enjoyed it. It was fine for what it was.
I still haven't seen it.
But it's one of those things where I could have waited till Christmas time to watch this. Like I've normally been waiting to watch a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I'll pick up the cheap Blu-ray on Black Friday and watch it. Yeah, watch it when I should watch it.
But again, it's they crammed so many big box office movies in that tight little month window that of course people are going to be, I'm not going to go to the movie theater. Like, we were even talking, before they moved Infinity War, that we were going to be going to the theater like 4 weeks in a row.
I think I still did go like 3 weeks out of that. I'm just like, I can't go every day. I have no idea what they're going to do with Guardians 3. I mean,
well, the problem is the funny thing is all of this happened, and they've just they're pretty much wrapped with filming
for what?
This Infinity War second part, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, it was done months ago. Oh,
yeah.
It was done a year ago. Yeah,
but
they filmed them together.
But the thing is they've already shot that. So if this had happened before they had finished that stuff, they go, oh crap. Well, let's just.
Oh, they're like lead. Do you know that there's going to be like some direct call outs to Star-Lord and some of those characters to be picked up in Guardians 3? That's just not going to happen now.
No.
So yeah, they royally fucked themselves. I'm a big Marvel, or I'm a big Marvel. I'm a big Marvel booster too. But I'm a big Disney booster. But man, there's just no question. They screwed up just unbelievably on this, and yeah, at this point, they're pushing back $1 billion franchise, billions of dollars, multi-billion-dollar franchise. I mean, I don't see how someone is going to get fired over this unless it's we talked about, someone at the very, very top that just hates James Gunn. That's all I can think about. That's the only thing that makes sense. Nothing else makes any sense.
I mean, it's probably that.
Yeah, that's what it has to be.
Because I mean, the fact of the matter is that what all of this James Gunn shit has been about is basically dumb.
Yeah,
it's something that's like, it feels like it's a prank.
Yeah.
And
we discussed it. I mean, Disney got just straight.
They got played,
and yeah.
Oh, Disney.
Oh, earthquake in LA. Hope everyone's safe.
That's some news.
Yeah, very timely. So Toby is not here. Our good friend Marshall is not here. They would both be
Marshall wouldn't even be on this.
Interested in this story. Now, I noticed a little bit of this. Newsarama put together a nice piece on this. It's over at newsarama.com about Nightwing. Now, Nightwing is a favorite character of a lot of people. I know I'm personally a big Nightwing fan. I know, Brock, you hate Nightwing.
I don't hate him.
You never liked Nightwing.
I'm just not a big Nightwing fan.
Yeah. I just don't like Dick.
Thank God.
So I noticed some of the solicitation text for Nightwing and for Batman had some, you're kind of used to the text being like, oh, the most major event that'll change everything forever, but you're like, yeah, whatever. But
anything you would read in solicitations in one of those weird, movie and trailer voice guys or whatever, the excited voices. Anytime you read those, you're like, yeah, fuck this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. However, people did point out, and I did kind of catch a little bit of this, and now this Newsarama article does a good job kind of putting it all together. There's a lot of talk with Nightwing between Batman 55, 56, and the anniversary issue of Nightwing number 50 coming up soon. I'm going to read you some of this comes directly from Newsarama. It says, they're going to start shipping Nightwing is twice monthly in September.
Okay.
Dick Grayson gets caught in the fray during KG Beast's rampage in Gotham City. It sustains an injury so bad that Batman blames himself for Dick's fate. So this is solicitation text for Batman. Nightwing 50 comes out the same week as Batman 56. Which picks up the aftermath of Nightwing's injury. The issue's solicitation text says the hero will deal with a blow he did not see coming. Now, this will lead to a new direction in Nightwing's crime-fighting career, and Nightwing 50 and 51 will be a new 51 and 52, which are more recent solicited issues, appear more related to the hero's injury than its villain. Nightwing 51 will have Dick struggling to overcome his own sudden struggles with heights and vertigo. He has lost his primary skill set as a hero and will have to focus on his brilliance as a detective instead. So I kind of initially thought, I saw this, but didn't. Again, you just kind of skim through stuff. You don't think about it, but...
So KG Beast is going to be in Batman? Nice.
Yeah, so he's going to be the villain in this current arc, the Tony Daniel arc coming up pretty soon. Does KG Beast break Nightwing's legs and now he's the new Oracle?
I don't know.
Does he get shot? What?
Maybe he doesn't break his legs.
Does he break his back?
No, that'd be.
Does he pull a vein?
No, that'd be too on what's that, on point?
Yeah.
No, what happens is Nightwing, his legs get chopped off, and then he's forced to.
So is it like Red Hood before, or Red Robin before, Red Arrow? Sorry, before New 52, where he got his arm cut off.
Yeah, where he got his arm cut off, and he now has like a Winter Soldier prosthetic arm.
And they're like, forget that, it never happened. Forget it, we're never gonna talk about it. Oh, his daughter's back. Forget it, never happened. Joshua, yeah, it's fine. Just keep going.
Yeah. No, he's gonna have prosthetic legs and all this stuff, and he's gonna become the new Oracle, or he's just gonna become some street detective. Maybe the Nightwing series will just become a paraplegic cop on the Bloodhaven police force.
Yeah,
and we get kind of some GCPD or BPD.
Well, I think he's coming back to Gotham.
Okay, so
I think with the current arc, he's back in Gotham.
Percy's doing all this, right?
Yeah. And again, I wonder, is this comes out of Batman, but it's going to be in the Nightwing. I mean, it's going to be in both, right? So I wonder, is this a Tom King thing?
Everything that happens in Batman affects the Bat Family books. So
yeah, some of it. Is this a Batman thing? Is this a Tom King thing? Is this a Ben Percy thing? Like, I'm curious what the story arc's about. So little kind of stealthed Nightwing story arc crossover with Batman coming up.
My thing is this a direct tie-in thing? Like, are you going to need to get issues 48, 49, and 50 of Nightwing as you read Batman 55?
I mean, it says 50 comes out the same week as 56 of Batman. So I'm assuming something happens in 55, and then 56 and Batman 50, Nightwing 50 is where it picks up,
and then but you don't need to read 48 or 49. Like, I'm not picking up Nightwing.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like it.
It's one of those things where I wish they would have made it a little bit clearer, saying, yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of like a mini crossover thing.
Yeah.
You know, but don't pull the miniseries out of the trades.
Yeah. Well, again, it doesn't seem like they're gonna kill him or anything crazy like that. It's just, but something's going on with Nightwing. So if you're a big Nightwing fan,
arm and a leg off.
Yeah, if you're a big Nightwing fan, you may want to grab that issue of Batman 55 too. And 55 was on FSC this past week, so I'll be curious to see if, as we get closer, if that ends up selling through or selling out real fast. Let's see. We got a couple more little news stories here. Mm-hmm. We don't have a date or a lot of pricing info yet. However, we do know Disney Play. That is going to be the name of Disney's streaming service.
That's the name they're going with?
Yep.
Disney Play.
CEO Bob Iger has announced the company's upcoming streaming service is called Disney Play. It'll be a biggest priority of the company during the calendar year of 2019. So they're going to lose $300 million in revenues as they start pulling everything off of Netflix. Some stuff is obviously going to stay through the length of its contract, but any new content is going to be pushed through to Disney, including original Marvel and Star Wars TV shows. So, it says their hopeful launch date is fourth quarter 2019. So, we're about a month away from the launch of DC Universe, which Kevin Smith, actually, I didn't write this down in the notes, Kevin Smith is going to be hosting like a daily show on that.
What?
Yeah, on the DC streaming service, which that launches very soon.
Yeah, it launches like in 2 weeks.
Well, does it launch in 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's like mid-September, isn't it?
It's September, right?
I thought it was mid-September.
I don't know if they gave a date yet. We find out tomorrow. They announce everything.
Okay.
Kevin Smith is doing the launch event tomorrow for it, so it's soon.
That guy has lost weight.
Yeah, he lost like 50 some odd pounds or something like that. Yeah, he looks a lot better. So I don't know if you saw the picture he posted of the picture of him like a couple years ago, and then the one like from like now. One thing was he must have lost a lot more than 50 pounds from that time. He must have lost a couple hundred pounds.
Well, the thing is he's gone through a couple things. I know he went vegan.
Yeah.
He also was, trying to be healthier and all that stuff. He had his heart attack earlier this year.
Yeah.
And then his doctor said he needed to lose 50 pounds. But the two pictures side by side, you definitely see a difference. Mm-hmm. But I think the one on the right that shows him thinner is taken with a weird camera because he seriously looks like the chicken from Moana. Like, it's like, if you look at it, he kind of looks like the chicken from Moana. I'm like, if I put some seeds in front of him, he'd probably peck down but not even hit the seeds. No offense, Kevin, if you actually listen, which I doubt. But no, it's really great that he's doing that. I mean, yeah, it's cool.
So Captain Marvel, Dumbo, Toy Story 4, Lion King, and Frozen, the Frozen sequel, will all be on the Disney streaming service. So that's kind of what movies are going to start being on there.
Oh, so like the direct to...
No, I mean, so when they come out on... These will not be on Netflix, right? Because right now everything's going to Netflix for Disney. So these will not go to Netflix. These will only be on their streaming app when they're available streaming. I'm assuming they'll come, probably a few months after... they'll do the digital release and then the physical, and then the streaming release will be probably shortly after that. I would assume they wouldn't.
Now this is going to be like another paid service.
Yeah, it'll be $10 or something like that. So, and our final news of the week is exclusive on Comic Resources. Scott Snyder plans the mysterious return of a DC icon in Justice League. This is exclusive, but this is just something. Oh, I guess it's something he was talking to Comic-Con about. So he was talking to CBR about all the different character arcs he's got coming up. And he talks about Starman, personal favorite character of mine, many different incarnations.
I was trying to get into reading that, and then trades went out of print.
Yeah. Not only are they out of print, they never finished printing the more recent releases of the soft covers.
Yeah.
So they did 6 hardcovers, and they only did like 2 soft covers, and then those went out of print, which is crazy. So let me grab Snyder's quote here. He says, "I don't want to give too much away." Oh, Scott. Because there are plans for different versions of Starman in different places. The JSA stuff is going to be going on with Ted Knight in some way, and I don't want to give too much away. Well, you just gave it away. I'll say that Justice League 7, you will start to see the story begin to unfold as he becomes a player. I'm sorry, this is about Will Payton, the Jack's brother, right?
I think a lot of people are lost. Who the hell is William?
Will Payton is the oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, I'm like, you go to the Wikipedia page. Come on, because Starman is Ted.
Sorry, I'm mixing up my. You're mixing. Well, there's multiple. I mean, there's multiple.
Yeah, there's multiple Starman.
Yeah. Okay. No. Sorry. Will Payton is the. Sorry. There's a shitload of Starman. Will Payton is the guy that died right before Jack Knight, who is the Starman that James Robinson wrote.
Yes.
Will Payton, does he die? I don't remember what happens to Will Payton.
Will Payton's more the JSA.
No. That's Ted Knight. No, so
okay, so Ted Knight is the JSA.
Original is Ted Knight.
Ted Knight, okay.
Right. Yep. There's a blue alien named Michael McHale. It's like Mikkel or something like that. He what?
I'm just laughing because I read Doomsday Clock 6.
Yeah, he was a He was a big character in James Robinson's Starman series as well. In the 80s, there was Will Payton, who was the newer version, and this version was also in what is it? The Justice League International stuff. Very, very briefly.
Yeah.
He was in like maybe an issue or two or something like that. Yeah. No, I guess he never died. They think he's dead, but he's still there. So then Ted Knight passes on the original Golden Age one, passes on the mantle to I just can't think of his name.
Jack.
No, he passes it on to his brother. To Jack's brother, who I just can't.
I told you, look up the Starman Wikipedia page.
That's why I just looked the stuff up on the internet.
Because I apologize to you for correcting you as you're going, but you were starting on a conversation.
Yeah, no. I know.
Nobody would have known what you were talking about.
I know. That's why I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to get back up to the list here. All right. The James Robinson Starman was Jack Knight. Right?
Jack Knight. Okay.
Yeah,
the original is Ted
Knight, who was
Ted
his
Knight,
father.
Okay. His father. Okay.
So
Ted gave it to his brother,
David. Sorry, that's his name, David. So in the very first issue of Starman, spoilers for the first, literally like the second page of the book, David takes over Ted Knight. David takes over as Starman.
Yes.
And is shot and killed immediately. He's shot like literally like on page 2.
Yeah.
You see him in page 1 and like he's dead immediately, right? So Jack is his brother, right? He's a punk kid that doesn't care about anything, right?
Jack is
David's brother.
But
these are the sons of
okay.
Ted Knight, the Golden Age Starman.
Okay.
Starman.
There we go. Family tree is forming, people.
Yes.
We're giving you a picture in your mind.
So Jack ends up taking over the mantle,
yeah.
Reluctantly, and he's the hero through all of James Robinson's Starman run, as well as the beginning of JSA that Jeff Johns ended up taking over shortly after. Michael, whatever his name is, he's in there as well because he was a Starman during like the 70s. He was like an alien Starman, so they bring him back.
Well, and then there was the purple suited Starman, it was like the purplish color with the yellow star on it.
That's Will Payton.
That's Will?
Yeah, so he was in between. It's like black. It's not purple. I mean, it may have been purple,
it's
like random stuff.
Yeah, it's like it was a purplish tone to it because of the coloring.
Maybe, yeah, but he's got like a big
that,
star
yellow
in the
or
chest.
white star thing over it, and then he turns blue.
No, totally different character.
What?
Golden Age.
Yes.
Blue Alien.
Yes.
Will Payton, 80s. Blue Alien, 70s.
Yeah.
Will Payton, 80s.
That's the purple costume guy.
That's the black costume with the big white star. Yeah. David.
Yes.
Son of
Dead. Okay.
Son of Ted Knight.
Son of Ted Knight
Dies immediately.
Yeah, it goes to Jack.
Jack.
Okay.
Son of Ted Knight, brother of David.
Yes.
And then it goes to, technically it goes to Stargirl after that, right? I mean, she kind of takes, that's, Stargirl's staff is Ted Knight's, is Jack Knight's staff.
Yes, staff.
Which comes from Ted Knight's,
the Stars and Stripes JSA stuff.
Yeah, so that sort of is the lineage of these characters there. Whew, done. I love Starman so much. I can't believe I can remember David. One of the whole, like, every year they would do, like, talks with David where, like, he's visiting his dead brother and they have, like, these adventures or they talk, right? Great stuff. Oh, God. James Robinson Starman is so good.
DC, reprint it because I want to read it.
Well, so they're doing something with Will Payton, seemingly, but there's going to be multiple Starmen. There's something with Ted Knight. Dude, James Robinson's been doing a lot of fill-in stuff. It's been pretty good. Please, for the love of God, bring back the Jack Knight Starman stuff. Please give him another shot at another series. Now, he's done a few things through the years. He did a Shade. He did the Shade miniseries.
Yeah.
He did that
Shade.
One
was okay.
They're fine, right? Yeah. But I would love a Rebirth Starman series with the entire Opal City and his entire cast. Just be like...
Now, are you ready? I'm going to blow your mind. Once he's done with Mr. Miracle...
Tom King
and Mr. Artist could do Starman.
They could do Star. I would love... Well, I don't... So, as far as I know, Ted Knight Starman has a similar... I don't think it's the exact same, but a similar deal to Neil Gaiman with Sandman is that, while technically it's owned by DC, James Robinson kind of has the final say with that character, and for whatever reason, with Jack Knight.
Ted.
So they've kind of...
Because that's the same thing with...
he hasn't appeared...
That's the thing with Gaiman and Daniel and Dream and stuff.
Well, all of the Sandman stuff. Yeah, they have... So he hasn't appeared in anything. Yeah. I don't believe he's appeared in anything since Joe's JSA issues. I to the best of my knowledge, it's the last time he ever appeared in anything. So I would I would love if Coming Out of Justice League is more James Robinson Starman. We'll see.
What would you do if you got a Tom King Mr. Artist Starman?
Oh, that'd be amazing. I could think of no better creative team currently in comics to deal with Starman. It's.
Well, what about Jeff?
What Tom King is doing now is what James Robinson was doing as Starman 20 years ago, right? There's a similar path
seriously need
there,
to get
right?
that stuff reprinted. I wanted to read it. I came in at the time when it was the rando.
Those trades are terrible.
The trades looked ugly.
Terrible.
They were doing the hardcovers, but they hadn't finished them yet.
Yeah.
And then it's just really wish they would just get their heads out of their asses with that.
Yep. All right, we're gonna get to a few questions here before we wrap up.
Few questions.
It's from Generic Protagonist. I have a terrible answer for you. I haven't read it yet, but I will ask the question nonetheless.
He can be the Brodock.
Generic Brodock. He says, how are you guys liking the Spider-Man relaunch so far? Seems like they're taking a cue from DC's Rebirth, fixing a lot of things fans didn't like, and going just short of breaking the fourth wall to apologize. I have not read it yet. I actually have just finished reading the tail end of Slott's amazing run. I've been trying to catch up. I've been burning through a ton of Marvel stuff recently, so I'm catching up on a lot of books. Unfortunately, I'm not current on
I read the first issue.
Too many of them. But Amazing Spider-Man to catch up with this first arc is really next within a book or two on my list. I'm getting through all the Hunt for Wolverine stuff right now.
Oof.
It's been fine. I've read 2 of the 4. They're okay. They're not terrible. They're just sort of filler.
It's just drawing it out.
Yeah, of course. So I've heard nothing but great things about Amazing Spider-Man. Their sales are way better than I expected. I have not read them yet. You read the first issue?
The first issue was okay.
Yeah.
It's
Nick Spencer.
It's Nick Spencer.
Ryan Otley.
I think the problem I have with the book is Nick Spencer did such an amazing job with Superior Foes of Spider-Man.
Well, those characters are going to be back in the book, or they are already.
Yeah, they're already coming back in.
Yeah, that's great.
He did so well with Superior Foes of Spider-Man. He did so well with Ant-Man, right? The Scott Lang Ant-Man stuff.
Yeah.
And then they kind of give him this. Then they gave him Secret Empire or Cap and Secret Empire.
Yeah,
it just
not his books. Yeah,
it just Nick Spencer's his bread and butter is to stick with the lower tier characters.
Yeah.
So it's real. For me,
did you not like his Spider-Man?
I'm not a big fan of his Spider-Man or his top tier guys. It wasn't bad, but it's one of those things where I'm like, if you like Spider-Man, you'll probably keep reading it.
Yeah.
If you're just coming back to Spider-Man, I don't know if it's really something you're going to be interested in.
Yeah.
Because it seems to just want to be more jokey than I think Spider-Man should be.
Well, Spider-Man should be jokey.
Spider-Man should be jokey.
Yeah.
His life surrounding him is probably not as jokey. Take the Guardians to Guardians 2, right?
Yeah.
The humor was perfect in the first one. In the second one, they just dumped it on way too hard. This is where I feel like Nick Spencer's going to pour a little bit too hard on the humor.
Oh, yeah, of course they're going to do that.
So
that's when he is the best, right? That is sort of Spencer.
But he's the best when it's not top tier characters.
Sure. From Timothy, he asks, "What's your favorite statue? Any cool upcoming statues?"
Brock. Statues. Jesus, I wish I could open them all and look at them.
I don't have as many statues as some people.
Yeah.
Here I have a good collection of Sandman stuff. I bought most of the Sandman statues from the early days of Sandman. Mm-hmm. I have a couple of Nova statues, but that's it. I don't have many.
No, you don't.
That Kotobukiya Nova statue may be my favorite with the light up base. I love that statue that I own. That's a great one.
Yeah. It's hard to say just because I have a wide variety of statues.
Well, you have a lot of Harley Quinn statues.
I have a wide variety.
Others. Yeah, you have Harley in a different costume, Harley in a different costume, a variant of that Harley in a different costume.
This is how they make money. No, I think probably I would have to say my favorite Harley statue probably is the deluxe bombshell one that I have right now. Another one of my favorites is I have the Batman Catwoman Hush. It was the first one they did of the kissing statues that DC did, or the couple statues, so to speak. I have that one. What else? I love the 20th anniversary Sandman bookends.
Yeah.
Those
are really good. Yeah,
really good.
Yep.
I have a handful of other statues, but I think if I was to say top ones, those would be it. I know your Nova's you have the Bowen one, right?
I have the 2 Bowen ones. I have the classic, the modern, and then I have the
Kotobukiya one.
Kotobukiya. That's it.
When did that one come out? 3-4 years ago?
No, mid 2000s.
Really? That
early
long ago?
2010s? Yeah. The Bowen ones might have been late 90s.
No, okay. No. I distinctly remember something Nova was coming out during that Guardians Abnett and Landing stuff. Was that the Kotobukiya one?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's later 2000s then.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, if Jim was here, he'd probably start talking about his adamantium exoskeleton, or his adamantium skeleton, and now Jim's got a lot of statues, a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
So DM him on Twitter, LD Exterminator.
It's from Jesus. He says, anyone had any part of their comic memorabilia entered into a contest? Next June, I plan on entering the Alameda County Fair Hobbies Competition. My wife and I think I can win with my Batman stuff. Ever considered doing something like this? No, I didn't. I didn't know there was a hobbies competition. That's kind of cool. What Batman stuff do you got? I want to see.
So, Alameda County Fair, which is fairly close to here.
Local,
they have a bunch of stuff where people they have gardening stuff where people do gardening and they get a little portion of the thing and they got to do some nice little landscaping stuff on it. They also have just people showing off like hobby stuff that and so on and so forth. I've never considered doing it because one, I don't want to truck all my stuff somewhere.
Yeah, I don't even know how that would work. Like, what do you do? Like,
you
look
have
what I got.
You kind of have to bring.
Can I carry the store over? I'd be like, here you go.
No, I've never thought of doing that. I know there are places that do it.
Yeah, I've never heard of
I know
this.
Guinness Book of World Records will visit you if you're a weird Superman fan. And
I mean, I've seen stuff like that. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, good luck to you. I mean, it's...
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no, I'd never heard about this, but that's interesting. Tell me if you win. I don't know. I don't know what you'd win.
Send pictures. Pictures tell 1,000 words.
Joshua, you asked the best questions. He said, "What's your favorite Smiths album?" Oh,
dude, really?
The Smiths.
God, I hate it. You're so picky with the questions.
There's
probably like 7.
I'm reading every question.
Yeah.
As troublesome as Morrissey is these days, I love the Smiths. Classic, early 80s British new wave band.
Oh, God. You get this description right, but you don't get Starman right?
Stephen Patrick Morrissey, lead singer of the Smiths. Of course, the best album, without question, is Queen is Dead. I believe
that's the one with the X's on her eyes on the cover in the center?
No.
Which one is it?
Person, lead lane, down. All his albums
are... Oh, that one, okay.
Yeah.
Which one am I thinking of?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It must be some ska band.
It might be.
It's that like white line drawing of the Queen with X's on her eyes or something, or like.
I think of the Sex Pistols.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah.
God Save the Queen. It's the tear out.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, Queen is Dead.
We both used to work at record stores.
Yeah, Queen is Dead by the Smiths. Of course, There's a Light That Never Goes Out.
You just like that one because it looks like Morrissey's dead.
It's not Morrissey. It's all the covers are. All the covers of our albums are like famous. I think no, I don't think they're British. Famous film people, like from old movies.
Okay.
There's a Light That Never Goes Out. It was the first song me and Leanne danced to at our wedding a couple years ago too. So that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Yeah.
Excuse me for a second.
Oh, Big Mouth Strikes Again, Cemetery Gates. Oh God, what a great album.
Did Joshua let us know what his favorite album was?
No, he didn't. Joshua, what's your favorite Smiths album? I want to know.
More questions, because that was a crappy one.
Neil asks, can we get the full story of what happened with that customer Brock was unable to service? So on Twitter the other day,
yesterday.
Feels like it was years ago.
That's just the world we're living in.
Look, I try not to dunk on too many customers here. This was not a customer. This was a crazy man that walked into the store. I had to run to the bank, right? So this guy walks in minutes before I go to the bank. I had to run over to drop something off at the post office. I went and got some food over at Trader Joe's. I went to the bank. I came back. This dude was still here.
Yep.
And when I come back in, Brock beelines to the back door, and he's like, "I'm fucking done. You deal with this."
I'm like, "I'm taking trash out. I don't care."
A couple of our other customers were here as well, and clearly they had been dealing with him as well.
So let me set up what happened.
I missed the first half an hour of this.
So you had me package. You were having a panic attack before you left, or an anxiety attack. I don't know which one. At how one of our customers was packing this box.
One of our customers came in to ship a box to a friend back east, and I love him, but he packaged this thing like he was just throwing shit into a box, and I'm like, no, just give it to Brock. Brock will pack it. I can't deal with this. I can't deal with you trying to do this. It's just so bad. Let the professionals deal with this. Brock will get to make it. It'll all fit. It'll all be perfectly packed. It'll get there fine. He's just trying to shove stuff in weird angles.
I'm like 3 other boxes in there. I know. I made a little tower out of the stuff, packaged it around.
I told him, I said, just let Brock deal with this.
I protected the vinyl as best I could.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. So I was like, just give it to Brock.
So the first thing that happens when I come in is you tell me I have to repackage this box. And I'm like, what the? All right, whatever. This is your dime. And then
I couldn't deal with it.
And the guy came in while you were still here.
Yeah, I left.
And he was walking around the store. He was quiet and stuff like that. And you had said hello when he walked in.
Just normal,
which is normal.
I
was packaging up this thing, and he's walking towards me and stuff. He's looking around at the toys, and I'm gonna say, and I turn to him, and because I'm in customer service, and I am not a complete douchebag right off the bat to people. I said, "Are you finding everything okay?" And that opened the floodgates to talking about Jeepers Creepers.
He was still going on about Jeepers Creepers when I got here.
And all of these other things. And he's like, well, do you know where you could get them? I'm like, you could go to Space Cat. You're looking for old toys.
Shove them at another store.
I'm like.
When I come in, the conversation he was trying to have with the other customer that was here was that in 2021, they're going to free all people committed of sexual crimes from jail.
Sex offenders.
And he knows this because his friend is a sex offender and told him about this. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't.
Well, and then he was.
You leave, and I'm like, who's this guy? Oh, no. What did I walk into?
I told you. I walked out and I said, I am never asking a customer again if they need help. Ever.
So look, it's just us, and our friend customer was here. He's fine. Like, it's not just some. I mean, I'm just trying to be like, okay, let's just get this guy out of the store as quick as possible. So he was going on about Jeepers Creepers. What? Jeepers Creepers? It's a fucking movie, right? That's a horror movie from like 15 years ago or something. This dude was going on about like the most random crap.
Apparently, he was telling you he was homeless or something.
He didn't tell me that. I think he told. Did he tell you? I think he told the other guy that he was homeless. I didn't hear. He didn't tell me that at all.
I know at one point he had a silver quarter out and said it makes a different sound.
He looked as normal as anyone that walked in here.
He looked like an old guy. He didn't look. He didn't smell. He didn't look homeless. He didn't look like his hygiene was horrible But God, man, he was not there.
Yeah. So I mean, everyone that works retail gets these guys wandering in. But yeah, we had a doozy.
The answer to no, I could not help him. There was no way I could offer the help that guy needed.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And I tried to shove him back off on Space Cat.
So my first tweet was like, "Oh, Brock, you glorious idiot! What did you do? Like, how dare you? Why do you keep this guy out?"
It's like I'm not even offended by being called the glorious idiot because I just did my job.
That's what you get. Lloyd asks, with the release of the Batman animated series on Blu-ray, which actually just get a major price drop today on Amazon if you haven't pre-ordered, it gets me thinking of how Harley Quinn got her start from the show, not the comics. Has this happened since? If it has, who would you like to see get their own comic? Well, not only has it happened since, it's happened many times since, it also happened many times previously. Mm-hmm. We've mentioned this on the podcast before, but something that some people may not know. Jimmy Olsen, Kryptonite, The Daily Planet, who else? Perry White. Mm-hmm. Those were all created for the Superman radio show back in the 40s. The first meeting of Superman and Batman happened on a radio show, right? There are all sorts of characters that are created in the TV or movies that then get brought on the comics. The Nuclear Man from Superman 4.
Oh, fucking A.
Bendis just brought him into Superman.
I know, but He killed him right
immediately,
away. Awesome.
but he was there, right? I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff. Since Harley, this has happened. X-23, she originally comes from the X-Men, one of the X-Men animated series. Morph, he's not really. They kind of had him in the comics for a minute.
Wasn't Morph kind of
there was like a version of him.
Yeah, there was something in the early comics of that character. Right?
No, it's a different character.
What was that character's name though?
I don't know. But the character Morph has had a variation of that character appear in the comics later. I mean, there's not much now. I'm trying to think who else. Chloe from Smallville was in a couple comics, not a lot, but they did have her.
They did bring her into the DCU.
Yeah, pre New 52. She was from. They brought her into that. I know there's others.
Harley's the biggest one though.
Yeah, I mean, in the last 30 years, yeah, Harley and X-23 are kind of the two big ones.
Yeah. Harley beats X-23.
Yeah, of course. If there's, I'm sure we're forgetting someone. I'm sure we're forgetting someone big that's maybe a little more recent. But
I can tell you this: my son hates the Batman animated Killer Croc.
Why?
He just didn't like the look.
Yeah.
He's like, that's not Killer Croc. That looks stupid.
Oh, not directly from the series. Obviously, Mr. Freeze was a character that existed prior, but the Batman animated origin and that version of Mr. Freeze, that's not Mr. Freeze prior to that, right? The version we know of Mr. Freeze since has come from the animated series. Yeah. That Heart of Ice, I believe, was the episode name. Sounds right. That retelling of his origin and
that's become canon.
That's become canon in the comics, yeah. So again, this is not limited. There's been a lot of characters like this. I don't really know too many characters right now that exist only in the comics. And let's be honest, right? Groot, a big chunk of Groot and Rocket.
Yeah.
They were obviously in the Guardians reboot stuff from the comics, but so much of what those characters are in the comics now come from the movie version. Not obviously not all of it, because they were there.
The good stuff is the Abnett Landing.
But they are in the Abnett and Landing stuff. Yeah. But so much of their personality traits in the comics now come directly from the movies.
Movie, yeah.
I mean, I can't think of too many characters. Maybe Kara's sister from Supergirl, if they brought her into the comics, would be cool. But if they brought her as like a DEO agent, but there's not a lot.
Yeah.
Most of they're not making a lot of new characters for the shows now because they don't need to, right? I mean, they're willing to draw from any character.
Speedy is kind of now in the books, but not really in the books.
Well, it's Emiko. It's different.
Yeah, it's
not the same character.
It's not the same character, but it has similarities.
Yeah.
Next question.
All right,
Let's do a couple more.
We got a couple left. This is from Comic Boom. He says, "What are your thoughts on the recent court rulings that the San Diego Comic Con successfully protected the copyright of the name Comic Con?" I don't know how this court case stuff works. A Comic Con, maybe COMICON, maybe you can't use that specific
one word
spelling.
Sure,
but a comic convention. Comic Con. That's not. I don't see how they can keep that.
Yeah, that's
that phrase. I don't. I know there was some ruling. They were going after some specific convention, but there's dozens and dozens of Comic Cons that they don't go after. So yeah, that's not for us to comment on. I have no clue. All right, Ulysses, what's your favorite black and white DC statue? DC does a line of black and white statues where they take various artist interpretations of usually Batman, but other characters.
Harley Quinn she's black, white, and red.
Red, yeah, and they do a black and white statue of kind of like the line art. I like them, but I've never been big. I think the Mike Mignola one translates well, but
a lot of them do not translate well.
I think they're fine. I don't know.
The Harley ones I haven't. The black, white, and red Harleys I've enjoyed
a
fair amount of the line.
Yeah,
but I think the problem I have with those is like the Jim Lee one was way too small.
Yeah.
The Art Germ one was cheaply made.
Yeah.
The prototype had distinct differences, and the thing is you're selling as close to the prototype as possible, but when you don't even have clear indications that are from the prototype on the actual thing. It's horrid. And then you go and make a pink version of it for Valentine's Day, idiots. Watch. That one's going to be detailed.
Yeah.
I'll bet you money that one's detailed.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches. But yeah, the other series, the black and whites, remember when those were coming out like every other week? Like they were coming out like every other week with those Batman ones. It's like I think they kind of oversaturated the market.
Yeah. The Batman ones, they were cranking those out. Yeah. There were so many of them.
But I think for the most part, it really just depended on the artist and whether or not their style fit black and white.
Yeah.
Next one.
It's from Fortress of Comictude. It says, why has DC been so behind the curve on getting stuff collected in omnibus format? I feel like there's a lot of classic runs you'd expect to be collected, and they're not. So winning an omnibus of Grant Morrison's JLA. Marvel has a head... So DC had a 15-year head start, 20-year head start on trade paperbacks.
Yes.
Right? Marvel's had about a 10-year head start on omnibuses.
Yeah.
They were cranking out those omnibuses early. DC's early attempts at omnibuses were fucking terrible. They had garbage paper, garbage binding problems, real bad problems. So DC's just kind of getting into it. They can't release 20 a month. It's just they have to release.
Well, they've been cranking a fair amount of them out.
They have been, but but the amount of content they have to go through is staggering. So some Silver, some Golden Age, some Bronze Age. They've been having their 3 lines for those 3 sets of books. Some Modern. They burned through all the Jeff Johns stuff pretty quick. They did limited runs like Invisibles. They did Crisis. They did Infinite Crisis.
They just did Seven Soldiers.
Yeah, so they did a number of Batman. They just finished Nightfall.
The Morrison Batman stuff.
Yeah, and so I have to assume. That
they'll do the Morrison JLA.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming. Yeah,
I think the really tricky thing is it can be that like something like Batman collecting the Morrison stuff is fine. Something like John's collecting the Morrison stuff is fine.
Yeah.
Something like JLA where it's only the first.
Well, it's 44 issues.
Like 44 issues. You collect that in an omnibus, but
it's
a 125 issue run.
Yeah, but all you need is the Morrison stuff. You don't need to collect the rest. All right, 2 questions left. This is from Josiah. He says, long-time listener, first-time writer. Hello. Thank you for listening. Thank you for writing. He says, I broke my silence for this important question. Something everyone wants to know. What is Toby actually doing when he disappears off mic halfway through every podcast? Now, we joke.
Okay.
But we're not joking.
Okay. We seriously have to videotape him doing this.
Toby wanders.
He wanders. But we need to videotape him doing this and just put it on the YouTube channel.
Toby has about 36 hours of stuff to do every 24-hour day, right?
And that does not include sleep.
Right. So when he gets here, he's carrying on 6 conversations. He's trying to eat. He's trying to do all this stuff. At some point, he realizes, because Toby's very picky, so when he sees a book, he has to look at every copy of every book 10 times. So usually at some point during the podcast, he realizes, I need to go look at all the new books coming out this week and pick my copies. That can take a substantial amount of time. He doesn't know how Comic Hub works, so he fiddles around with that for a while. He yells at us over the counter while we're trying to record a podcast.
At some point, sometimes he lays down in the aisle.
He has laid down in the aisle. That is not a lie. He has done this before. Just lays down on the ground and passes out halfway through the podcast. So, and he's not drunk. He's just, I don't know. He's tired. Yeah. So, yeah, Toby's living life, man, and he doesn't have time to sit around when he's not in on a conversation. He's got stuff to go do. Yeah. So
can't just sit and take it all in.
No, he can't. Toby's always in the move. Yeah, we're not joking. He just gets up and wanders while we record.
So we'll try and get some YouTube content of that.
And finally,
Toby wandering.
And finally, Jeremy asks, "Did you guys order enough of the Venom books this week? I don't think people realize that Kate wrote the Web of Venom, N-A-M,
was it
Nom.
Venom or Venam?
Yeah, from Jeremy. So I ordered a decent amount. So yeah.
No. Let's talk about issue 5 of Venom?
Yeah.
Let's talk about issue 5.
Yeah, the issue where everyone stopped buying it. So Donny Cates' Venom comes out, and it sells like crazy. Venom has never moved very well at our store. So issue
Back
2
issues
comes out.
sell really well.
Yeah, but the new stuff never moves.
Yeah.
So I ordered a bunch extra, right? Because it was Donny Cates, and yeah, number 1 sold really well. Number 2 sold okay. Like I ordered again, big for Venom, not big for most books, but big for Venom, right? And we sold out very quickly. By that point, I don't remember if 3 was already on FOC because I think I had 3 must have already been on FOC because I had reordered it at that point.
Yeah, I think 3 would because it was doing is it bi-weekly?
I don't remember. 3, for some reason, we didn't get any extra copies of 3 past what we normally had ordered. So 3 was a big issue. There was some, I don't know, like
it's the
Venom
first
God.
appearance. Well, it's not the first appearance,
The
but it's the
symbiote
first
god or whatever.
symbiote god.
And then they reference back to Thor, God of Thunder, and people were going fucking nuts for these
yeah.
issues. I had like 10 people within the first minute of opening be like, you got God of Thunder, got God of Thunder. I'm like, no, we haven't had that issue in a long time, and no, it's like $80 on eBay within a day. It's like, cause it's fucking nuts. So 4 came and went, and by this point, I was like, all right, this is actually sticking. So I think by 3 is when I had adjust my orders for 5. So of course 5, I don't go crazy, but I order more than I normally do. It had one of those FF variant covers, right, for the month, which I ordered a decent amount of. And nobody bought it. Yep. And so my numbers are just like, oh, look, this is exactly what happens every time. Finally, the issue, I get enough copies, and now I'm stuck with all these extra copies of Venom. Yep. So live and learn. Don't support Venom. No, Venom's fine. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm just
Web
cursed.
of
Venom. Yeah.
How
it's
many
the
did you
one
order?
Shot. Closer to those other numbers that we sold out of.
The lower ones.
Yeah, and again, we don't have a lot of subscribers for Venom. Venom is that rare book that we have
like 5,
a handful of subscribers to, and
a
lot of people,
but a lot of people coming off the shelf.
Yeah, and people come in weeks later.
Venom's one of those characters that, like, just in the '90s when he came out, it hit a market, and those people now have disposable incomes, and they're coming back going, "Where's Venom?"
We've also had 20 years of shitty Venom stuff.
This is true.
So, but it's a very hot character.
Did you see the second trailer for Venom?
No.
It does not make the movie look any better.
Yeah, no, I could give 2 shits about that. I'll go see it.
Are you sure? Go see Solo before you see that.
Maybe. I kind of have to see Venom, don't I? I have to take one for the store. I have to take a bullet for the store. I did it. If I could see Fantastic fucking 4 in the movie theater,
that's the worst.
It really.
You watched Amazing Spider-Man in the theater.
Both of them.
Yeah,
it's terrible. You
cry yourself to sleep.
Yeah, I'll go see Venom probably. Leanne's not going to go. Hell, there's no fucking way Leanne goes.
We are Venom.
Oh yeah, there's no chance. Again, I mean, Venom sells well for a Marvel book and definitely for a Venom book, but I sell more copies of Aquaman than Venom. I sell more copies of Harley Quinn. I sell more copies of Batgirl. I sell more copies of, basically every DC comic than Venom. So, but it's good for a Marvel book.
Not everything.
I mean, they're ongoing
the unexpected
stuff. Okay, they're ongoing stuff that aren't New Age of Heroes, okay? But yeah, Venom sells. It's a mid-level Marvel book for us, so which is fun.
It's just a prime example of
the reprints have done really well. I've sold a lot of the second and third prints because of those new covers. People like those.
I think what it is it's a perfect example of you were wanting to try and that's where the stores guess. Is you're guessing just what's the interest going to be, and it's you have to skirt the line. And if you're like, okay, people seem to be coming in and still asking for it, so I'll bump it a little.
But that's exactly what happens. Issue number 5 is obviously the issue everyone figured out how to order Venom, meaning every store over order number 5, so nobody's looking for it, and since it's not hot. Nobody's buying it because everyone already has it, and no one's trying to go crazy for it because no one needs it. So this is just the fucking way. This is why I get very awkward around like speculator books, and because they just one issue could just pull the rug out from you. So for number 6, I just got my orders back to what they were before. If we sell out, cool. I'm not going to worry about it again because it's clear that this is not a book that's. I wasn't way off the mark.
No.
I probably was I was probably ordering exactly what I should have been ordering, and just the
Plus
audience
or minus a couple of copies.
But if I had 5 more, I wonder if I even would have sold those extra 5. I kind of wonder if I actually nailed my numbers on Venom, but I sold out quickly, thinking we had a lot more people coming in for them. When maybe I didn't. Maybe I actually that was how many I should have ordered.
Yeah.
Like at plus 2 or 3 for the shelf.
Yeah.
And that I wouldn't have got any more customers for it. That seems to be the case, unless people just gave up on it already. I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea.
Maybe they're just pissed off they couldn't get that Thor God bomb story thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good book.
We need the Jason Aaron omnibuses, damn it.
Yeah. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this week. Nice and short for a Comic Conspiracy podcast, not 3 hours.
See, I don't know why you dislike the 2-man show.
Gets me out of here a lot earlier.
Yeah, see? You should appreciate me more.
I do. I appreciate you very much, Brock. You're very helpful.
I know. I try.
Julian Titus, our good friend, Julian Titus has the Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com. You should check that
Let's try saying no. You try saying no pants one way. Go.
That's fine. No pants. I have no pants. Ryan Hess has Blowhards, which is a video game podcast. It's over at blowhards.libsyn.com. You should check that out. Jody Lawson is Canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicstudios.com. Go there and support their books. Our good friend Sam Che, Craig Anderson, Joe Deff, Andrew Nelson Mendez, who was visiting us last week. He has the Recovery of an Anime Junkie podcast. You can find that on iTunes.
We finally get something to plug for him.
Darfox 8 has the Manga Machinations podcast, which I'm actually going to be a guest on in a few weeks.
Ooh, nice.
So that should be fun.
What are you guys going to talk about?
I think they're, it's like industry stuff. It's going to be their 4th anniversary podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
Larry Davis has the Stand and Deliver podcast about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Lots of anime up in here. And then Kevin Scheller has the RighteousComic.com. Go check out his webcomic there, and you can pick up print comics as well. Thank you to all of you guys and everyone that backs us on Patreon. At patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. That $25 a month amount, you can get your little plug on here at the end of our episodes. We'd like to thank all our friends that back us on Patreon. Again, patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. Thank you, everyone does that. And I think next week, assuming everything processes on time, should have all our monthly.
It's not going to process on time.
It's
Labor Day this weekend?
Oh, is it Labor Day? Okay, so it may be the week after. It all depends on when Patreon processes. We just do it the week after. So
no school on Monday.
ComicConspiracyPodcast.com is where you can find all our episodes. You can also find them on YouTube.com/Comics Conspiracy. That's comics with an S, like the name of the store. Geekbox.net and iTunes. That's where you can rate and review us on iTunes. Definitely helps people find the podcast.
Yep.
The Comic Conspiracy at Geekbox.net. That is our email address if you want to send some emails about the podcast. Oh, I did have some emails to read. Maybe next week I'll try to remember to do that.
So we're going to read them on episode 423.
423?
Yeah.
That's like many episodes from now.
Yeah, that's normally when we...
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get it. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. That is your...
You do realize the other URL is easier, right?
Your... what is it? Like comicsconspiracy.comic...
It's like comic conspiracy / comic retailer.
Yeah. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz is your...
We have a button on our main page.
Direct link to your maybe not even shorter URL, but your slightly shorter URL to our digital web store, which is powered by Comixology. You can purchase comics through there, and you get...
How are we doing? Is that still
very good?
Doing good?
Comixology as well. Yep. So a lot of stuff through there, especially Jim Lee sale. They currently have a Jim Lee sale.
Oh, that one's still going on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. If you'd like to purchase physical comic books from us, that's comicsconspiracy.biz. Our entire inventory is up there for a new product. So you can pick up all sorts of crazy stuff on there. We've gone through Marvel and DC single issues. Everything we currently have in the store single issue-wise is on there as well. We're still working on independent, but all our graphic novels should be up there as well. I do need to... I'm doing like a stock check. I have like 4,500 trades to double check stock on, but a lot of stuff up there. So and we ship directly here from the store, so you can pick up stuff there.
Yep. I've packaged that stuff up mostly.
Yeah. ConspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's blog and video pull list. You can go check him out over there. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. And Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife Leanne's Etsy store. She just did a Captain Marvel and Billy Batson piece. Sorry, a Shazam and Billy Batson piece.
Oh, yeah, which, by the way, I'm going to tell you, I'm taking the one at the store. She's going to have to get another one.
Cool.
I saw one of 100. I'm I need to get that one.
So she got a new piece, really good. You can pick that up. They're at a malt shop, having a milkshake.
It's an homage to
Yeah.
What is his name?
Oh, sorry, I know what you're talking about. Yes, sure. Now
Rockwell.
Norman Rockwell. Thank you. Your brain worm got into my brain, and I couldn't remember his name.
My brain. You've smelled my brain fart.
With the Wizard Shazam being the
ice cream server.
Yeah. A very nice piece. We're all on Twitter. I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce Larson, now living up in the great state of Oregon. He is settling in very well. We've talked a few times. He's going to get back in the swing of things, then do some Bryce Briefly original content for the Patreon. He is at Larson Bryce. You can yell at him. He will be back on the podcast soon. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store. Please follow all of us and yell at us, please.
Why do you want people to yell at us?
I don't know. If I blocked you, it's because you follow Diversity in Comics, because I blockchained them. And finally, the industry is turning on these guys, and big creators are speaking out against them, so fuck off. To all the comic geek guys. Love you. Geekbox, Comedy Button, Manga Machinations, and the Infinite Binge
You do realize that's going to be taken out of context.
Infinite Binge podcast. The Infinite Binge YouTube series.
Yes.
You can go on Infinite Binge and find out more about
Did
those
they get their stuff
guys.
fixed?
You talking about Manga Machinations? I don't know.
No,
actually,
who's the one that got all their stuff?
Manga Machinations.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know what happened with that. I'll have to ask him about that. I haven't talked to him for it. That's it. That's our episode. We'll see you guys next week.